Hi everybody, Chantal here from Grounded Mind. How are you all doing today? I wanted to do a video like this for some time because I know I've touched upon my background in terms of who I am and why I've got vestibular migraine, and through my research the types of people that there are in the world. So if I was to summarize, I think there's two kinds of people. This is my summary. This is just based on what I've been looking into, and it's quite a top level view, but you've got people that can do a lot all the time, process a lot, be very active and be okay. And then you've got people that do all of that and they're not okay. And you've got other groups of people, but for the purpose of this, when we speak about, people that are busy and always on the go, there's those two kinds of categories, those two categories. And I unfortunately fall into the category of that person that does a lot all the time, but isn't okay. And so it is frustrating because I am a doer, and I like to get things done. I like to use every hour of the day to do things and then have enough time. I've learnt now that sleep is very important, so just to get my sleep in. But I do like to do a lot. For example, I will work, I will look after the kids, I will clean the house, I'll work on my own projects, I'll do the shopping. In between that, I'll be, washing clothes, drying clothes, but then also find the time to speak to my family and my friends, while also looking at things that I need to plan for, like kids' birthday parties or somebody else's party, or design something for someone's business, or do some social media posting for somebody else's business, and the list goes on and on and on. And it's just how my brain is. It's very active. And from the first video, you'll see that before I got diagnosed with vestibular migraine, a few years before that, I was diagnosed with a condition called lichen planus, which is an autoimmune disease, which is also caused by stress, which has also got an unknown cause. Even with that disease, I didn't just kind of sit in it and sit on steroids. I researched it and I looked into kind of healing, and I found a way how to heal myself, which was through a diet called the autoimmune protocol, which essentially is a elimination diet where you eliminate loads of different types of foods like gluten, sugars, dairy, basically everything. And what you can eat is like pure food from the ground, food that hasn't gone through any kind of process. And I did I combated that, and I healed myself, and I've been in remission since 2017, and I do help people with that too. And a lot of people have healed themselves just by eliminating stress and changing their diet, etc. So again, another example of how I am and how my brain works, and how I always like to see a way out of things, and I don't always take the advice given based on a lack of knowledge, especially from people that say to me there's no known cause, knowing that our bodies can heal themselves and that our brains are very powerful. So the thing in life that is very difficult is when stresses happen, with whether it's family or whether it's work or whatnot, or with your own personal relationships, children, that can also impact you when you've got a busy life. So that on top of that, and with some people they can handle it, they can go to sleep and they can wake up and they can crack on. And with some people, like myself and people, you guys watching this, our brain just gets completely me and my W's rewired, and it cannot handle it, and it malfunctions, and then it gets so scared and terrified that it does what it's built to do, which is essentially protect us. And it's, funnily enough, even though the symptoms that we have are related to the tinnitus and the dizziness and the Alice in Wonderland effect, if you like, and feeling space out, the brain fog, which I touched upon in my last video, and all those horrible things, there's also other symptoms that happen as the same result of stress and anxiety in your brain trying to protect us. Things like sciatica and back pains, and there's loads of different conditions out there that are essentially mind-body disorders or dysfunctions. And so really, yeah, even though I do aim at the vestibular migraine sufferers, because I was, not anymore, but I was a vestibular migraine sufferer, and I know kind of what you are going through. There are a range of people that what I'm saying in these videos, it applies to. It isn't just people that are suffering with vestibular migraine or PPPD or any vestibular issue and symptom. It's a range of conditions, but it does seem to be a certain type of person that does actually have these symptoms. And so one of the things I've had to learn to do, and I touched upon this in one of my previous videos, is to just stop. Not to stop completely, but just to kind of ground myself by stopping. And by doing that, you are saying to your brain, you're saying to your brain that things are okay, and you kind of recollaborate. And I spoke as well about breathing in my last video and how that really helps me. Body scans used to help me. I don't really do body scans anymore, but I do somatic tracking. And I don't do somatic tracking because I want the symptoms to stop per se. I do them because I like how I feel when I do them, because I'm not doing it with an expectation, even though it's a bit confusing, because even though when I do that, my symptoms dissipate and feel better, but I do it because I like the feeling of being able to kind of listen in and hone in on my internal self. I know my body very well. One would argue, is it good to know your body very well? I know my body inside and out, and so I'm very self-aware of myself. So when I do like to get into a place where I can just be one with myself, and I can kind of, it sounds creepy, I'm hesitant to say this word, but kind of feel how I feel, not physically feel, but I can feel the symptoms as they're happening and have the relationship with them and speak to them and understand them. And it's like I'm having a relationship with my symptoms. And because that then enables me to look at them from a non-judgmental point of view, that is I'm telling my brain that I'm okay, and that's why the symptoms dissipate. And once you understand the kind of mind-body world and how our brains work and neuroplasticity and how to kind of get the neurons to start firing differently, because our neurons are elastic. And I read a book by this lady called Jory Remily. I can never pronounce her surname correctly, but it's called Rocksteady, and it's all about neuroplasticity. It's one of the first books that I read in 2022, and it was an absolutely amazing book. And she, some of her practices I don't really, not agree with, but I wouldn't practice like that. But the theory behind what she teaches is very useful and helpful. The science behind it's very true, and I like the fact that it educated me a lot and opened my eyes to realise that what I think and feel about myself isn't just a thought and isn't just a feeling, but it actually takes set, and your body will react and become what you've thought through neuroplasticity and through the fact that our brain, we're creating neurons in our body based on the things that we're thinking, and we can actually reshape it. We can turn it around by actually not necessarily thinking the opposite, but thinking good. And then that then becomes your normal based on how your brain works and based on how your brain is actually wired. And it's very important. And if you think about some of the sayings that we say in everyday life, be positive, think positive, positive things will happen. We always say these things, and they actually have a meaning. And as a Christian, even things in the Bible, be anxious for nothing, and it all stems from there as well. And so these things that we say and we think it's just a phrase, it's actually reality, and it's backed up by science. So the science is there, and it tells us that our brains will respond to what we feed it. So essentially, it's important to stop, and it's important for us to kind of recollaborate with ourselves, and then it's important to then carry on. But when you go, when are you giving yourself time to breathe, especially when you're that second type of person like myself? So, I mean, even when you're in the workplace, and I mentioned this in my last video, that don't feel like because you're at work, you can't step away and you can't find a place for a few moments just to kind of breathe. What happens to your brain when you breathe is spectacular. It's such a big thing. It's a big deal. And breathing really does ground you, and understanding your symptoms also grounds you, and looking at them from a non-judgmental point of view does ground you. And I will say that there are a lot of groups out there which in the beginning, when you want someone that is like-minded to speak to, are really helpful. But then when you get to a point where you find this way of healing and you feel good, those groups aren't necessarily the best place to be, because they can be quite negative, some support groups, and that's not, they are there for a reason. I'm not knocking them at all, because it'll be wrong for me to do that, because I found comfort in some of them, and actually I found advice in some of them, which has led me to where I am today from the positive people that are or were in there. But be careful to not consume too much negativity, because negativity can lead to fear, and fear can lead to symptoms, and then then it's just kind of a vicious circle. So yeah, I am that kind of person that needs to stop, and I did find a way out, and I'm still on this journey, and it's an amazing journey. My life, I live a normal life. I have normal stresses, and yes, sometimes I can feel some symptoms, but I know how to deal with them. And that again is through grounding myself. And I really want to help people out there. I really want to help you. I am going to be putting on a live or some type of event where if anybody wants to ask me anything, I'm there to answer questions. And also what I'm going to do is kind of tell my story in a bit more detail, because I do really want to help people. And I think, what is the point of me going through this and feeling better and then keeping all of this healing process to myself? I don't think that's the right thing to do. And so what I am going to do is continue to post these videos and reach out to you. And I'd like you to comment and just share something that you want to with me, or get in contact. But for now, if you could share this content and like my channel, which would help me to help more people like you and I, that would be absolutely amazing. And so yes, have a fantastic day, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.